I had a comment on one of my shorts about what I use or what my setup is for recording and streaming. So I thought real quick it might be interesting to just take a quick peek at the things I use from a hardware perspective and the things I use from a software perspective. There's nothing cutting edge here. There's nothing flashy, but this is what I use in case you ever are wondering at this point in time, which is February 2025 is when I'm making this video. Um, so the first thing, let's start with hardware. As far as hardware goes, my computer is just a laptop. I just stream off a laptop. It's a Zephyrus G14. It's I think one of these models, but I bought it at Best Buy. It's got 16 gigabytes of RAM in it. It's got a RTX 3060, the laptop version, obviously not the desktop version. It has a AMD Ryzen 9 5900HS with it, with an integrated Radeon graphics. And that is really it from a computer perspective. Nothing fancy, no crazy stream dual computer stream setup. Um, I think this works okay for me. It probably wouldn't work okay if I was trying to stream from it and do something like play games at the same time. Um, I probably would also stress it if I was trying to stream from it and do some serious, very complicated development workload with it. As you can see, I'm kind of pushing the RAM at the moment, right? It's kind of topping out the RAM. So, um, obviously, results are going to vary, right? But it works for me. When it comes to my camera, I use a Sony A6500. This is the nicest camera I own. It's on a tripod. I use a piece of software called Sony Imaging Edge, which basically just allows me to use my mirrorless camera as a webcam. Um, it doesn't support the 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 best resolution from the camera, but it's easy to use and works with all the different software that I use. So that's the camera. The microphone I use, I know it probably doesn't sound the best, but it works for me. It does the job. It's this blue Snowball Ice white microphone. Looking back now, when I bought this many years ago at Best Buy. I wish I had bought the black version. That's my one regret with it. But I have several different microphones, and for whatever reason, I keep coming back to this one time and time again. I don't know why. I just do. So that's my camera, my microphone, my computer. Software-wise, so in terms of software, when I started streaming and was recording those from when I started streaming and was recording some, I started using Streamlabs Desktop, which is really nice. It's a really great piece of software. However, if you want to do multi-streaming with it, like you want to be able to stream to Twitch and YouTube at the same time, you got to sign up for a subscription. So they don't. So for that reason, I set Streamlabs aside, and recently, like literally less than a week ago, I set up a Restream. So I don't know if you're familiar with that. I set up an account with Restream.io, and the whole reason for that was because they support streaming to two places, and they support it at 1080p HD if you're streaming from something like OBS, and it's free. You don't have to pay extra to stream to a secondary place. They also support streaming to a bunch of destinations, but then again, you're back to needing a subscription, and I don't have enough viewers or followers, or I don't make any kind of income off this to make it worthwhile to pay for a subscription like that. So I use Restream.io, and then the software I use is just good old OBS. So let me turn off my preview here so we don't get that weird feedback. But I just use Streamlab, or not Streamlabs. I just use OBS, which Streamlabs OBS is just, they've taken the OBS software and put their own skin on it and added a bunch of functionality on top of it. But OBS is just an open source software that you can use to stream and record video. You can do really complex, crazy things, but I pretty much just use it to make a handful of scenes. I have an intro, I have my screen share scene like this, my full camera view, And then I've got some basic audio from my microphone and my desktop. And then these panels you see here are the Restream integration. So Restream lets you kind of control what you're streaming to, and it also gives you kind of a unified view of your chat. And so far, so good. I don't have any complaints. Like I said, I've only been using it for like 4 or 5 days. So take that for what you will. But that's at a high level my setup. Obviously, if you guys have questions or want to know more about any of those things, I'll be happy to share them. But just quick recap, camera is a A6500 mirrorless from Sony. My microphone is a Blue Snowball microphone. The computer is a G14 Zephyrus circa 2021. I use OBS plus Restream.io to stream and record. And that's that. So if you have questions, leave a comment. I'll try to drop a link to all that stuff in the description. And obviously, we can expound on any of it if you have any interest.